Hello and welcome to Freedom March. Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm Levan Miller. You're listening to us on 103.5 The Beat FM, on channel 224, on channel 112, and of course over at ILTV Studios on Facebook. Now, if you joined me here yesterday, you know that something got a hold of me. I went to a newspaper page one day, and something about that, I don't know if my heart wasn't right. I feel like my heart was very right. But something got a hold of me. And, you know, sometimes in the moment, you think about the things that you see and you say the things that you think, and then you go into prayer about it, right? And while I took very prayerful contemplation of the utterances that I made yesterday, because I'm a Church of God boy, right? And somehow the voice of Joyce just continues to resonate in my mind. I've decided that I am going to leave Lyle Bethel alone. Not because anybody has called me off of him, but because nobody sicked me on him, and nobody needed to sick me on Lyle. I thought he was a Neanderthal. I thought I represented the facts that his actions exuded exactly that. But, you know, believe this or not, I was listening to Lincoln Bain, and there was something that he said that stood out in my mind. Sometimes before God destroys them, he confines their mind. And I am clearly going to stand by that, right? And so I'm going to say, do not boycott, what is the name of the church? Grace Community. No, I want all of the sheep, please go back to your shepherd. And I will say, like the prophet said to the prophets of Baal, Lyle Bethel, if your God be God, then I shall simply wait on him to answer by fire. Because otherwise than that, at some point, if you continue on rolling over in whatever this minutiae is, at some point, your God will have to show up. Because you are making very definitive claims in these article pieces that you've written. You claim that God told you to pray for Sebastian. You claim that after you heard his pronouncement, that you thought that this was the will of God being done. I serve a God that I don't know does it quite like this. But I'm prepared to watch, and I'm prepared to wait, and I'm prepared to see if in fact your God will answer by fire. And if he does, then I say, let your God be God and everybody else be a liar. But until such time, we will wait to see. Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us through the break. I'm Levan Miller. You're listening to us on channel 103.5 The Beat, on channel 224, channel 112, that's Cable and Flow, and of course, you're listening to us on ILTV Studios, but wherever you are listening to us, thank you so much for listening to us. Of course, it's Wednesday, and if it's Wednesday, then you know it's Barber Day, so I want to send a special shout out to my barber, Ali, over at Island Connect, and I don't know who cut me your hair if Ali don't cut your hair, right? You got to go by Ali, let him cut your hair, and then let him give you the oil. The Island Connect oil. Listen, all of the fellas in the barbershop agree that when you put it on, you instantly smell like the Prince of Egypt. And, you know, it's fantastic. So you go down there, say hello to my friends, and let them see if they could do for you what they just do for me. All right? And so that is my shout out to them. Good to have you guys this morning. As you know, the barbershop is always such a wonderful experience. I enjoy going in there every Wednesday. It's just good dialogue between young, strong men. They're all so young and so strong, like 28. You know, when it's 28, I could flip things over. Yeah, but, you know, age. Yeah. So, anyway, I'm, you know, usually we do the whole spiritual part of the show, and we have scripture every day on Freedom March. But the spiritual advisor has gone into the mountain to go, why are you laughing? And to go and retrieve Holy Scripture. And he's not yet returned. I imagine that when he comes down, he will have them scribed onto stones and possibly even grow a beard. But until then, you know, we are moving along. And I thought to myself, you know, we have become so accustomed to having that spiritual part of the segment that I wanted to throw in something this week, something that isn't spiritual, but that is a part of, in my view, of holistic wellness. And that is physical and what do you call it? Therapeutic care of the human body, right? Yeah. Because a lot of times, you know, I look at people, I went to a church service the other day, and I noticed that 60% of this congregation got a little left limp. And I say to myself, this church look like they fighting back the spirit of goat. But I don't know. I don't think that their pastor could pray for goat because he have a little left limp. So they probably got to bring in, like, you know, an out-of-town pastor to bind up the spirit of gout in this little church. Notwithstanding that, you know, I have a strained tendon in my foot. It's called plantar fasciitis. Yes, sir. That's what it's called. And because I don't go to that church, right, it ain't in my left foot, it's in my right foot. And whenever I have that problem, I go to see my friend, Mr. Henry Butler, who takes care of my plantar fasciitis, right? And so I just wanted to talk to you. We brought Dr. Barry Russell in on Monday, and we spoke about proper oral and dental hygiene. We spoke about the pervasiveness of periodontal disease in the Bahamas, which is becoming more and more obvious and harder to ignore. Like, people are 40 and their front teeth are missing. That's abnormal. People are 40 and all of their side teeth are missing. That's abnormal. And so, you know, we just wanted to heighten in the minds of people the importance of good dental care. And I thought to myself, well, if we did that with dental care, then, you know, maybe we ought to talk to Bahamians about things like reflexology and that sort of stuff, and how that helps with making sure your whole church don't have a left limp. Right? Why does whole church have a left limp? It must be the stairs. It must be the stairs. And so I thought, you know, who better to call than Brother Henry Butler. So, Mr. Butler, welcome to Freedom March. And then of course we have my social advisor? I gotta get the title right. My social advisor, Chef Simeon Hall, who I thought wasn't gonna come back. I actually waited on him in the parking lot today to make sure he was coming. Chef Simeon Hall is back with us on Freedom March. Chef, welcome to Freedom March.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, have you ever met Henry?
Yeah. We used to go to COB together.
You all been to COB together?
He didn't remember, but I reminded him.
Okay.
And he does some work with my dad as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what I know, Simeon Hall.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Or at least that's what they tell him when he reach. So I from time to time visit your place, visit your establishment, and it's not something that I knew about before my accident or my injury, right? And I have actually told people about it, and I told people about the importance of stretching. We live in a country where I'm not really sure that's a huge thing for us. Walk us through a little bit of why it is important, what about it is important, and what do you recommend daily for people who live, ordinarily regular lives, not super athletic, but just people that are doing the day-to-day tasks, whether they're mundane or otherwise.
Well, stretching to me is one of the most important things because flexibility in a human being it adds about 10 more years on your life.
Wow.
The more you stretch, like you see the stretching bed I get in the office, we trying to get persons to do that on a regular basis because I do it every day.
Right.
And what it does, it not only deals with stretching in my body, it actually allows better flow of blood flow to my organs.
Right.
So it takes care of my whole body and my mind.
Right.
And so we trying to get persons to start taking care of the health preventative.
Right.
Yeah.
So now people always try to think about the ways that they don't have to go to pay, right?
Yes.
Everybody want to do the free one, right?
Yeah, they can also set this up at home. You could buy a massage bed, and you could build a stand where you could actually come to my office and see it,
Right.
and build a stand, and then you could do the stretch every day. Because in China, in rural China, they have about 1,000 benches in that area where everybody goes to the park and they stretch, and that's all people does, and actually it maintains their health.
You ever stretch, Chef?
Yeah, I stretch, but it ain't want no bed and no massage parlor and that kind of thing.
But I also want to say to you, right, the problem I would have with that is, I went there to stretch, Chef, right?
Hold on.
And when they stretch, I say, now Henry, only me and you in this building. And if I keep hollering like this, we have a difficult time explaining to these people what exactly we was doing in here, right? And so, I don't know if I would put myself through that.
Every day.
No, when my
You get used to it.
when my tie tell me that's enough,
That's enough.
I can stop.
Yeah, you stop.
So I have to go let Henry do it for me because
Yes.
I don't have the discipline to take to stretch my own limbs.
That's
right?
why I think you need to come down and be advised and have it done.
Right.
Yes.
So stretching and reflexology, according to you, will add about 10 years to your life.
Yeah, but the reflexology hits about 14,000 nerves in the feet and about 2,000 in the hands, and they correspond to various organs and glands in the body, so it actually opens the whole circulation
Right.
in the whole body.
How important is circulation? You remember I just talked to you about the church with the left limb.
Yes.
How important is circulation to warding off things like that?
Circulation is life, mental, physical, emotional. It just deals with the whole life. It gets the body to run optimally because people service their vehicles on a 3-month basis. But we don't service our body. We wait till we break down, and then we go to the doctor.
Right.
They charge us big fees, and that's what we do.
And they give you some chemicals.
That's it. And we take chemical instead of fixing the source of the problem. We fix the symptom.
And most times chemical are actually given to you to dull the nerves.
And then it gives you plenty side effects. And that's what our people are dealing with. A lot of people who you see limping, they get plenty side effects. They taking the painkillers on a daily basis.
Right.
And all they're doing is tearing down their stomach wall, messing up their liver, their kidney, and they do this on a daily basis.
Yeah. So there are people who, I have a friend of mine, I'm going to call his name, Lord Shagwell. He's my favorite watering hole buddy, right? He's my absolute favorite guy. I mean, he's the level of charisma is unmatched. He is. Listen, I admire the guy, right? But he has a limp, and I said to him, I said, Shaggy, you should let me take you to get this thing shock out your leg. But I want to tell you, the word shock is like a curse word to him. And he don't believe that there's no way you could put water and electricity together and it not turn out to be a bad thing. And I tell him, Shaggy, I go every 2 or 3 months, ain't nothing happened to me.
No.
Right? He says, that's because you say your granddaddy's a bishop. God might be looking up to you that's special. My granddaddy wasn't no bishop. I might be the one they waiting to get, right? So, but why should people not be fearful of things like electromagnetics and
Because
what is the research?
we need to first understand our human body. The human body is electrical first. We are made up of cells, billions of cells. And what the cells does, they group and they make the organs and the system. So once you electrically charge the body, not too strong, you make it gentle but strong enough where it can now push the blood supply around the body and allow oxygen to flow. Because a lot of people, they wait till they get sick and they got to pay for oxygen when they could produce their own oxygen.
They ain't got enough air.
They ain't got enough air.
Wow.
Simple as oxygen. You know what oxygen costs now?
No, I don't.
Plenty money.
As a matter of fact, this is a little joke. You know, when COVID was running, we
That's what we needed.
We far enough removed from COVID to tell COVID jokes yet?
Yes, I think.
Okay, so when we was having COVID, right? Let me tell you something about me that many people do not know. I don't care if I don't have bread in my house, I'm going to pay my medical insurance.
Yes.
I don't care what I lose, I pay in the medical insurance.
Definitely.
Because the difference between middle class and lower class in the Bahamas is where you go after the car accident. You know that, right?
No,
If me and you in a car accident together, the difference between middle class and non-middle class is you in the elevator well in PMH, waiting on a doctor, and me on the ward in doctor's hospital.
Yes.
And the only thing that separates that
It's
is
America.
this little plastic card in my wallet, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I just pay that. I don't care if I ain't got rice on. The medical insurance paid. So during COVID, you know, ministers keep telling the people, lock us inside, lock us inside. And I would go outside and I wouldn't care. And I'd be outside. People be saying, well, Miller, why you outside? You ain't scared of COVID. I say, well, if I get COVID, I'll go to the doctor. So they let me say, you know, we running out of oxygen. I say, we running out of oxygen for people who don't have this card. When I pull up, Mama who on the free oxygen,
Say take off.
time for that to end. Tell mother, people with card reach,
Yes, man.
call your pre-insurance because we getting the oxygen over here.
Yeah.
So that's my oxygen joke. But you saying that the electromagnetic shocking, reflexology and
Yes.
stretching all are to increase oxygen and blood flow, which ultimately leads to better health.
It's like grounding. When we go to the beach, we put our feet on the ground. That's called grounding.
Okay.
That allows your body to take away inflammation and same thing, oxygen flow and everything. But a lot of people just don't know these things.
Sure.
And that's why we keep making the same mistakes and we are dying early in this country. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Levon Miller, the amount of deaths that happen in our country is very, very puzzling to me.
Wow. What about like people with like peony feet? Like I have peony feet, right? How does stretching and because boy sometimes stretching my foot does make it hurt a little bit, but then it just go away. Right? How important is it for like foot health and that sort of stuff?
Very good because it could actually save a person's foot. Because persons are having amputations due to poor circulation. They have ulcers build up because they're not getting proper flow. That's why the ulcers building up in the leg and they have their foot amputated because that's the next solution. The doctor says they automatically cut your foot off.
That actually makes sense.
You don't go back any foot.
That actually makes sense, you know.
What?
If your foot giving you pain
Yes, just cut it off.
and you cut that foot off,
That's
at
it.
least that foot can't hurt no more.
Yeah, but people have called
You ain't like that,
phantom.
Chef?
Oh boy.
Let's think about it.
Think about
If
it.
my right foot hurting
Yes.
and I don't have no more right foot, at least my right foot can't
Yeah,
hurt.
but you have a disability now.
But at least I ain't got no pain in my foot.
Oh, Father, help us all,
Help us,
Jesus.
Lord Jesus.
Okay, so, what about things like digestion and
Elimination, all that is speeded up because once you speed up the circulation, all organs work at optimum. So they start firing better.
Right.
And it's like the liver start working better, the colon start working better, the kidney start working better. All these organs get clogged up. That's all they do. They get clogged up with aging.
right. So as you
Aging causes
age,
inflammation.
as you age, like your bowels
Everything
tighten,
shrink. Everything
your stomach
shrink.
tighten.
Everything tighten.
But if you shock yourself,
You wake
this might
everything
shake
up.
it loose.
You wake everything up.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
all
that's
right.
the best way to put it.
Well,
Then it might wake up the third leg too.
What if you wait? Hold on now.
What
Now
you
you know. I had a doctor friend of mine tell me one time, right? He said he don't care if he treat you for the common cold. Anytime he have to write a prescription for a Bahamian man,
Yes.
he just somehow throw in his little doctor advisory spiel.
Yeah.
That, well, I mean, I don't know. I give it to one or two fellas and they tell me when they take all, the things start to work a little better and all.
Yes.
He say he got some of these patients who's try to eat the box that the pills come in, right? And that is his way to make sure. So don't tell these people that it is do that because
It does.
They may come by you and take the machine at your office.
Well, let me break in my store.
Yeah. So stretching is very important to overall health. Reflexology is
Yeah.
very important
Yeah.
to overall health.
And nutrition.
Okay, how do you add nutrition into that?
Well, you take a multivitamin and that has minerals, vitamins, amino acids. You take 60 minerals, 12 amino acids, fatty acids, and you take it in the body on a daily basis according to your body weight. You can't just take 2 if you need to take 4.
Right.
Your body need to take enough for your body weight so you can get enough nutrition to supply the whole body.
Right.
People are not doing that.
And so that, along with early morning stretches.
Yes.
Is there a better time to stretch your body? Like, is it early in the morning that's better, late in the night? that's
Early
better?
early is always better, but you can still stretch it late. But early is better.
So basically, what you're saying is don't stretch.
Huh? Don't stretch. Well, you
Yeah,
should.
that's
You
basically
should.
what you're saying. Don't stretch.
Yes.
Okay, Chef, you got anything for your schoolie?
What's the cost?
It's affordable. It's only $60, or we have right now. We have a special until the end of the year. It's $150 for 5 sessions, which works out to $30. You can't beat that.
No.
You can't
And
do
then
that.
what is the frequency you should do it?
Some persons do it at least once a month. Some persons do it on a weekly basis.
Okay.
But at least
like,
once a month.
so like, what if you extra clog up, right?
Then
So in the beginning you should go,
you should do at least the 5.
and then,
And then you
after
can,
that
then
you
you
go
can space
into
it.
level up.
You can space it up, yeah.
Okay.
At least to get through the system, you see.
Awesome.
And listen, I can tell you this. I recommend that you take moral support, because I tell you, when they stretch my leg, Chef, I just didn't feel like my leg anymore.
No.
My leg never felt like that in all my life. And I say, Henry, now I don't want you have me hollering in these people place like this, because people have me as a big serious dude.
Yes.
And it ain't no way I could just holler and belt in here like this. Because there's something about stretching the muscle in the back of your leg.
Tight.
I don't understand why that there.
It's so tight. That's
Yeah.
that's actually called the urinary bladder.
Boy,
In the Chinese thing, that's
Yeah,
the urinary
that's something
bladder.
special.
And always blocked.
When you stretch it all the way out, Jeff,
Yes, but
and water does immediately just come out.
then you gotta go
out your
pee.
eye.
Then,
Yeah.
then you gotta go pee.
Make water come out your eye immediately. I gotta send Chef.
This ain't sound like stretching to me. This sound,
No, I'm telling you, it's unique.
I thought stretching is when you stretch.
that
You know, that
See,
ain't
that's
nothing
because
that.
you're doing the base level stretching, Chef.
That's base level.
When
man.
you go over here by these people over by Tab them, I tell you, when they put you on the freeze board, they strap your leg, right? And then you have an acquaintance. No. What is the name of the
Oh, my friend Tia,
Tia, the therapist?
the therapist, she's my therapist.
But bless the Lord. Let me tell you something.
She's very good with her hands. God has blessed her with her hands.
Let me tell you something.
She went with it today.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
And she rub your foot.
I mean, he was getting off. Right?
Just like the blood of Jesus, I tell you. It's like the blood of Jesus. It is wonderful.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Mr. Butler, so thank you so much for joining us here on Freedom March.
Yeah.
And you all go get scratched out. You all clog up. Barry Russell say floss your teeth, because your teeth look bad. And yeah, give us your number.
Well, number is 328-1085.
328-1085. And go get scratched out from Henry.
Thank you.
And see, don't sit down, we ain't finished yet. And see what he can do for that limp you got in your left foot. All right, we'll be back on Freedom March. Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you for staying with us through the break. I'm Levan Miller. You're listening to us on 103.5 The Beat FM, on channel 224, on channel 112, and on ILTV Studios over on Facebook. Of course, that's on cable and Flow and Facebook. Let's get to this ad. The Work Center, located Rosetta Street, across from Roberts Furniture, is your one-stop shop for back to school. Dickies, Timberlands, and many, many more. Come on down and let their friendly staff assist you with getting ready for back to school. All right, so before we got to Henry Butler, we were talking about my spiel yesterday. Chef Simeon Hall is here with me. And again, Chef, thank you for joining me on Freedom March. And I thought about it, Chef. I went home, I thought about it, and believe it or not, while I was sifting through content, considering what the show would be about today, because I tell you yesterday, I come in to break up on Michael Pintada head, right? I don't know how y'all don't know about that. Y'all never used to break up on people's head?
I know about that one.
Oh boy. This is what has happened when your Grammy got 14 children and 79 grandchildren.
Yeah.
Y'all start your own little army inside
For
these
sure.
people government school, right?
For sure.
And so nobody could have beat us up because it was too much us to beat up.
For sure.
Yeah, and so we was to just break up on people's head whenever they play with us. And that was our way of proving our dominance inside this little primary school, right? But while looking for the content for that, I saw the clip from Lincoln Bain talking about how the Free National Movement jacked their team. But there was something in it that stood out to me. And I said, this must be God talking to me, right? Because, in the Bible, God used an ass before to talk to the prophet, right? And so I said, well, hey, this lines right up. And so could you take me to the clip from Lincoln Bain talking about how the Free National Movement jacked their slogan? Yeah. Okay, they almost have it. They almost have it. Yeah. And so this is why I've decided to leave Pastor Lyle Bethel alone and the Grace Community family. And what is also interesting to me, though, is that grace is in the name of the church. Grace is in the name of the church, yet the leader of the church seems incapable of extending grace. And so I'm not going to fight it. I thought that, because you don't want to be guilty of the things that you accuse people of, Chef.
Right.
You don't want to say that, oh, he's excessive, and oh, he's X, Y, Z, and ABC. And then you go right behind him, and you
Exactly.
And you practice
Exactly.
excessivism.
Exactly.
And so calling for the boycott at the church, and in my mind, originally, I thought that was better than calling for his resignation as pastor, right?
Right.
Because I get it. A pastor is a prince in his own church, right? He is the prince of that pulpit. You can't be mad at him for preaching the doctrine that he believes is the right doctrine for his congregation. But the truth be told, when you come out of that space and you come into the public domain and you are trying to pour your ideology on the general public, that is when it becomes a bit difficult. And that was why I had called for the boycotting of the church, because I thought that it was full of hate. And hate cannot exist in the pulpit. Why? Because the God of the church is a God of love. And so wherever hate exists, that must mean that there is no love there, which means there is no God there, which would then mean you have no authority with which to run this church. And so, we ready? While I was looking for content for today's show, I heard the voice of Lincoln. And this is what he said.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this, and I want you to pay attention. When God is ready to destroy them, He causes them to lose their mind first. They go out of their mind. Everyone in the country knows right now.
And so, I said, maybe that is a word from the Lord. Now, Lincoln goes on in the clip to talk about how, and he's right, Michael Pintada is on the podium quoting the COI, right? Change ain't come and change his hair, which was so silly. But that's what happens when you don't have serious fellas hanging around you to advise you. You just go out on the podium and say any silliness. And so that is where we are with that. Any thoughts about me and Lyle?
Well, like you said, there's a new article out today,
There is.
and so it is my wish that we, shelve that for today.
Okay.
And give the people some more of our intellect.
Okay.
Because we have such a broad
Yeah.
understanding of social and all these other isms and schisms that
Yes.
we could be talking about. So, because to me, it's more of the same.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, if you argue it, you're basically arguing the same thing again.
Right.
So-
and I saw him doubling down.
Yeah.
Which means, he's going to be unrepentant.
Yeah.
And sometimes.
So again, some things need to be, whether they, if it's going to be social commentary, it is for the understanding, the betterment, the enlightenment of the broader population. But this seems now at this point something that needs to be hashed out between individuals and not something that is any benefit to us as a people.
Yeah.
So I don't see what this latest article is about. I don't get it. Me personally, I've read it. I don't see it. But again, there's some other things we could talk about.
Yeah.
So I think we should definitely focus on that and allow the people to see that we are a people that are doing well in some areas, and in other areas there are challenges. And let's put it out.
Yeah.
Let's get the people to talk about all of it, not just one part of it. Because, when the topic's hot,
Yeah.
you could talk with them all day, all night, Marianne.
Yeah.
But, it takes somebody who is intelligent, who is not a mental midget,
Indeed.
to move on to the rest.
Yeah.
And
No,
so
I
that is
completely-
our suggestion.
I completely share
to
that
make
view.
sure, because if not, then the other problems, they can get away with murder.
Of course. So I just wanted to make sure publicly state that it isn't any pressure from anybody. I said yesterday
No.
that I had only ever seen Sebastian 10 times in my whole life.
Right.
And I've only ever spoken to him 3 times of the 10 times that I've seen him in my whole life.
Right.
And today isn't time 11 or time 4. So no, there's been no pressure whatsoever. And if I felt pressured, I probably would just vacate. I don't know if I would ever allow myself to be so socially pressured by anyone, either to do or to withdraw from doing anything, right?
Right.
Because, but for your convictions, then what else do you have as a man, right? And so, like I said, I maybe it was the voice of God. I don't know. All I know is Lincoln was playing, and then it came to me, and I said, you know what?
Yeah.
You can't ask the people to boycott the church.
Well, no, and then again, too, you take something that may be singular in origin and you pluralize it.
Right.
When you say, this person has done something wrong, so now all you all get lumped together and we will take action against all.
Yeah.
Again, that is a slippery slope as well. So
Yeah.
at this point, like you said in the beginning, let's not become who we are against.
Sure.
In trying to prove what we want to prove.
Sure.
You become the bully,
Sure.
like the bully.
Sure.
And so you have to be careful.
I also want to read this scripture into their hearing. Producer, get the scripture ready for me. I want to read the scripture into their hearing because after I heard the voice, this is how I feel it was God. I listened to Lincoln, start triggered something in my
Plenty
mind.
God talking to plenty
And then
people.
all of a sudden, boom, this scripture pops into my mind. And so
Good
let's take you
stuff.
to the scripture sense. It's Proverbs 6, Proverbs 6, 16 to 31. And it says, these 6 things doth the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among the brethren. My son, keep thy father's commandment, and forsake not the law of thy mother. Bind them continually in thine heart, and tie them around thy neck. When thou goest, it shall lead thee. When thou sleepest, it shall keep thee. And when thou awakest, it shall talk with thee. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and the reproofs of instructions are the way of life. To keep thee from evil, women, from the flattery of the tongue of strange women, lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burnt? Let's go, producer. Can one go upon coals and his feet not be burnt? So he that goeth in his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her, shall not be innocent. Men do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he is found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. And so I want to take you to the top part of the text and to the bottom part of the text. I tell you, I'm Church of God, right? Take me back to the first 16 through to 21, whatever the first 6 verses were. These are the things that the Lord hates. And yea, 7 is an abomination. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, and feet that are swift to running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth seeds of discord among the brethren. If you are not in that realm, I think that you are perfectly in line with God, right? And then the last part say, can a man take fire into his bosom? La, da, 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 da. Despise not a man if he steals to satisfy his hunger or his soul's hunger. But if he's caught, make him pay it back sevenfold. And so at the end of the scripture, it is a message of repentance and a message of repaying. And all I'm saying is, if you ain't doing none of these things, you are right with God. And if you happen to do this thing and you offend man, there is a way to make righteous what it is that you have offended. And at whatever point we determine that, I feel like one or two of these fellas, or both of them, or either of them, could actually still find some redemption right in this bottom part of the scripture. And that's the last thing I'm going to say about that.
Good stuff.
Feel like you've been to a Baptist sermon?
You know,
Because I have an offering pan around here somewhere. I can't let you just get away with all that good free theology for nothing. So anyway, Lincoln Bain is someone that I watched yesterday. Take me to the news. I don't know if it was a press conference. The one where he was singing. This was supposed to have been a press conference, and they're talking largely about immigration. And immigration is the hot button topic around here these days. So much so that the former prime minister is involved in the dialogue. But there are some very interesting claims being made, and I want you to hear what they are. Take us to the press conference.
This land is my land, this land is your land, from Grand Bahama down to Inagua, from the Berry Islands, cross to Maguana. This land was made for you. Amen. Thank you so much for being here. This is an important day. I'm not here just to speak to the media. I want to thank those in the media who are present, the ZNS and Eyewitness News that I can see so far. I'm here to address the Bahamian people because we have a nation in peril. Before I get started, I just want to show Brave Davis and Michael Pintard something. This is in me. This is real. The struggle for our country is real. This is not something that someone else has to feed to me on a piece of paper, because I am living this every day. You are living this every day. And we must have real plans for this country. If we don't have real plans for this country and the fortitude to get it done, to execute it, we will not have a country in short order. And so today, I've called you and the thousands or tens of thousands of people watching this from around the world and in the Bahamas. I've called you to raise the alarm. It's time to wake up before we lose the only thing that we have. Ladies and gentlemen, something very strange happened in 2022. It was good, but it was bad. It was some good news, but it was some really bad news. And how could that be possible? In 2022, that was the first year of this present administration, the Progressive Liberal Party under Philip Brave Davis. What happened in that year was that immigration all of a sudden became one of the biggest money makers in this country.
the Immigration Department. Let me tell you what happened. In 2022 was the last year they had modest means. In 2022, they made $182,880 in 2022. That's how much the Department of Immigration made. I said thousand. 182,000. Go and check their website. That's how much money they claim to have made in that year from work permits, etc. All right? That was interesting. Now, but in 2022, they processed a record number of work permits, etc. They processed over 28 work permits. Over 18,000 work permits. This was a record. Can you imagine? That is a country in itself. That's a country that they brought in. That's new applications. That's not the persons who were already here. That is a country. That's in 2022, it skyrocketed, the new applications. Okay? But again, the numbers were $182,000 is what was made. Okay, that's probably about $1,400 something per application, give or take. Okay, but something else happened. It continued to increase. In the first quarter of 2023 alone, they processed, just the first quarter, the first 3 months, over 13,000 applications. January, February, and March. Over 13,000 applications. How is that possible? That's the first quarter. And they claim to have made $20.6 million, $20.6 million in the first quarter alone in 2023. That seems like these work permit applications started to seem to be some kind of new business, or it started to explode. In 2024, the numbers continued. In 2024, someone talk to me. Y'all talk to me. I know this is a press conference, and I know we should be formal, but this is for you. How much do you think the Department of Immigration made last year in 2024 from work permits, etc.? How much? Go call some numbers. $50,000? Money, I would know money. Money. Let's talk money. That one's 100 million. 100 million going once, 100 million going twice. Ladies and gentlemen, the Department of Immigration reported that they made $127 million for the year of 2024. That's last year. So what's going on? Ask yourself the question. One, where's this money? And two, why is this money? How much work permits are you giving out? Now, there were some new fees that were added, but why the big jump from 182,000 for 18,000 persons? So if it was 182,000 for 18,000 persons, how much did you process to get to 127 million? Again, we know that there were some other fees that were added during this period, but we need the government to be more transparent and let us know exactly what is going on. We are confused as a people. Why all the work permits? And so we, in the Coalition of Independence, we had a job to do. And that job was to safeguard our country. And that is what we set out to do, and that is what we did. We have received reputational damage for doing so. There are persons who call us all kinds of hateful names. They say we're xenophobic because we want people to come into our country the right way. When we love all people, we just want you to come in the right way. We've had people call us like Hitler We've had people say all manner of negative things about us. Why? Because we want to safeguard our nations like other nations are safeguarding their nation. We are not against immigration. We are for immigration. Somebody got to work for us. Because in the New Bahamas, we could be the owners. So someone got to come work for us. But we want you to come the right way. And I don't know in what twisted world would that actually be a problem. To tell you to come to my front door, please. That's it. Just come to the front door. And that is all we are asking of anyone who comes to this country. While we're not focusing on any particular nationality, we see that many nationalities come here. The Chinese come. They are buying up properties all over the country. We see that happening.
And so the thing that I can't get, Chef, I'm sorry that I had to put you through that whole thing, is what exactly is the COI complaining about?
Well, I guess what he's asking for is to clarify and to make sure that there is no way any improper records and dealings. Because basically what I understood from what he said was somebody was doing their job right after it was doing wrong. I don't know. But again, we live in a country where we need to be more inclusive, even when we may not agree with how people are doing things. But my question has always been, in a country as small as ours, is there any way for us to all align to see if we could get it right?
Chef,
Whereas it becomes so political that it becomes something that we keep getting it wrong.
I don't even know if this is politics. Here is why I don't think it's politics, right? Because it would be the most asinine political maneuver I've ever seen. You can't say to your base, boy, brave them doing one bunch of immigration tax collecting, boy. Wow. I mean, we had only collected $120,000 when these fellas first come to office. But beloved, can I tell you, Brave going and collect $100 million. Well, what would be the problem?
Yeah.
Second to that, you say, in which country would there be an issue with us asking for people to come through the front door? None. And I don't assume that we're having that problem right now. If what you're saying to me is that there is an uptick in work permits, that is the front door. You were saying to me that they permitted 18,000 people. That is a small country. And he is very right. There happens to be small countries on the planet with populations of about 18,000. According to ChatGPT, St. Kitts is among that. Macaw, I don't even know where that is. And Kiribati, I also don't know where that is, right? And I don't assume Lincoln knows where they are. But the point I'm making is, in a country with 400,000 people, where Bahamians have a reduced birth rate, and largely there is a workforce that is aging, I said to a friend of mine the other day, I finally figured out why nothing in the Bahamas works. There are no 18 and 19-year-olds in our workforce. And so our baseline staff are 30-year-olds. And I want to tell you that as a 40-year-old, I really won't be awake every day. So I want to take every casual leave day I have. I want to take every vacation day I have. And I also want to take all 28 of the sick days I have. Because at my age, what I do in the wake every day. You know who would happily stay awake every day though? 18-year-old me. I would volunteer to be there, as a matter of fact, sometimes. And because we have a Bahamian population that is aged, that means the workforce of the Bahamas is aged. And so a lot of the things that we require or rely on daily are just not being done, not because we don't have the parts, not because we don't have the acumen, not because we don't have the tools, but because the fellow who is fix it on 4 days with a casual leave.
You're right. I mean, that is a conversation, especially in our hospitality and tourism areas. We are definitely lacking skilled workers, and in some instances, just workers.
Yeah.
So it is definitely something that we need to address. My only thing that I got from what he is saying, or the only way that I could help him or back him up in what he just said, was if there was to be some accountability of the money.
Precisely. If
But
there was an uptick in
everything
the
else, everything else, he actually agreed with what he was saying, by saying what he said. So
Basically,
I
he
don't
has said
get that.
the Progressive Liberal Party has done a tremendous
Yeah,
job.
I don't get that.
In the
so
last
the only
2
thing
years.
would be, the only thing would be that would help validate what he says is where the money is, what it used for. Is there full-on accountability down to the last penny of the money that they said they
even
made?
that would beg questions, Chef, because what other government revenue generating department gives you a line item on what it has done with its collections? It puts all of it into one fund, the consolidated fund.
Well,
So if you look at the consolidated fund and it went up by $100 million, it is a reasonable assumption that that come from immigration. The point I'm making to you is if Chef Simeon Hall pays for a work permit and the Bahamas government receives the money for that work permit, but Chef pays leaving another $1,000, that don't have nothing to do with nobody. You is a fool for paying me. I don't own no work permit. Anyhow, that's the Jingle No More. Freedom March. I'll be right back after the break. Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us through the break. I'm Levan Miller. You know that already. We're on 103.5 The Beat FM, channel 224, that's on cable, channel 112, that's over on Flow, and of course, ILTV Studios over on Facebook. Wherever you're listening to us, though, thank you for listening. And of course, you know, I do not say it to you if you're already listening to me, because you know our call signs. I just want to make sure that you know exactly what to tell your friends when you call your friends and tell them to turn off the other vapid nonsense that they are listening to and to come over here and listen to us at Freedom March, where you might at least learn the word anti-disestablishmentarianism, because our goal, as often as possible, is to inform, to educate, and sometimes to entertain. We have birthdays. Let's go to the birthday first, right? And then I want to bring Chef Simeon Hall back, and we can talk about Dr. Hubert Minnis and his position on the immigration law and the FNM party's position that is entirely opposite from what it is Dr. Minnis believes. So let's go to the birthdays, and then we'll get to that, eh? So July 16th, where are we? We have happy birthday to a general of the community and a gladiator of the civil rights movement, a champion for freedom, a commander in the fight for the free and modern Bahamas that exists today, who has labored long in the fight for social justice and equality, and a wonderful mother and grandmother. Happy birthday to Miss Laura Williams, from all of her children, all of her grandchildren, all of the people that love her, and from us over here at Freedom March. So, Miss Laura, happy birthday. She's Jacquelino's mommy, you know. And I want to make sure that we extend happy birthday greetings in regards to her on this, I think, her 82nd birthday. I want to tell you that she's like a quintillion dollar. Even though they sometimes are old, they are always such a wonderful sight to behold every time you see them. And they are certainly something that has an undeniable level of characteristics about it that just makes it undeniably something that everyone loves and is always happy to have with them. So happy birthday, Miss Laura Williams, the mummy of Jacquelino Williams. Wherever you are today, we hope you have a wonderful day from us here at Freedom March. All right, now that we got that out of the way, take us to the clip with Dr. Hubert. Hubert Minnis say, ain't nothing wrong with the immigration law. Everything we need on the books. And then he say, the problem with the immigration problem is Bahamians. So we don't have an immigration problem. We have a Bahamian problem. Let's see what Dr. Minnis had to say.
Are the immigrants the problem? The answer is no. We are the problem. We, the Bahamian people, are the problem. And the problem is corruption and greed. We have laws. We have sufficient laws. We have adequate laws. It's just a matter of enforcement. If we enforce our laws, then we won't have the problem. So this is a beautiful country, and all we need to do is enforce our laws. The laws are there. We don't need to come to this parliament every darn week passing law after law which don't mean F.
My guy.
I love him. I love him. Let me say every day I come here, and
you want to make new law. And you ain't do the whole law yet.
you run on and on and on
Yeah.
with law.
Yeah.
Law on my foot.
Yeah. You fix them set what we then get. I love it.
But we know that earlier in this week, the Free National Movement put out a set of, what do you call them? Posters, digital posters, flyers, with the Free National Movement plan, and the acronym is SHIELD. So let's see what the former Prime Minister said, right? Funny enough, there is a clip. Do we have the clip from Lincoln Bain where he agrees that the laws are already on the book? Yeah. Let's go to Lincoln Bain, because I want you to see that him and Hubert Minnis are in lockstep. You know, I've been trying to recruit them, and they could both become members of the FNA. And since the FNM won't let us be FNMs, we could just be FNAs. And since they are lockstep on this immigration matter, I think this is a wonderful opportunity for them to find a reason to conjoin their powers. We have the clip from Lincoln that's saying that, the laws are already on the book, and what we have is an enforcement issue.
In fact, it is the shortest of all of the plans that we've released, because it's very straightforward. We already have all the immigration laws we need. What we don't have is proper enforcement because there's corruption. Everything that we need is already the law. It is illegal to house or harbor illegal immigrants. It is illegal to hire them. It is illegal to land here illegally. What other law you need? What we need is enforcement. Our islands are under siege, and that is why this is so important at this time. Our islands are under siege. North Andros is crying out, saying, help us. Who do we turn to? They are praying and their prayers are not being answered. Eleuthera is crying out, help us. This is not the Eleuthera that we grew up in. Eleuthera is turning to a shantytown. Harbor Island is crying out. You just saw us on Spanish Wells. Spanish Wells? I said Spanish Wells, you know. When Spanish Wells is in problems with illegal immigration, our country is in trouble. We're in serious problems. There was one man who was there.
And so, Dr. Hubert Minnis and Lincoln Bain both agree
Right.
that there is absolutely nothing else from a legislative position that the current government should or could do. So tell me then, what is this thing I see Michael Pintard them going on with? Let's start with their S, eh? So they intend to implement the SHIELD strategy. And I want you to tell me, can I use you as a translator?
Yeah.
Good. So I'm going to read what it is the Free National Movement say, and then I'd like for you to translate that for me to see if we could come to some understanding of what the words on this paper actually means. All right? So the Free National Movement says the S in the what is it? SHIELD? In the SHIELD plan is going to be secure our land and end illegal occupation. The FNM will take decisive action to protect public and private land. We will not allow anyone to claim land that does not belong to them. Our land must serve the people through safe, lawful, and planned development. Please, Chef, translate that for me.
No more squatting.
So
squatting.
we can stop Branson in that too?
Well, I don't know who it is who qualifies. I'm just, you said to explain it.
Yeah.
So I Bahamianize it just now.
No
this
more
is
squatting.
saying you can't squat and
Who
take over
always
people's
stopping?
land. Everybody, this ain't single out
So
any one
that
person.
ain't necessarily immigration policy.
This is summary of the SHIELD.
Yeah, but
Until this.
don't we have civil courts that already are used for this same thing?
You asked me to tell you what it is.
All right.
You told me to interpret it. That's what I
But
get from
according
it.
to Hubert Minnis and Lincoln Bain, we need to go back in this parliament for another single piece of immigration legislation because, boy, we got that covered. Let's go to the H. We can't find the H. Heightened surveillance. The Free National Movement will strengthen maritime patrols with our regional and U.S. partners to secure our borders. This coordinated approach will deter organized smuggling networks, protect lives, and secure our borders without disrupting legitimate maritime activity. Translation?
We can get a couple more boats and make sure the boat them weekend and they can be in the water doing what they're supposed to do, along with the help of some other partners.
How much of that are we not doing today?
Well, what the interpretation is we can get a couple more boats, we can put them in the water with some of our partners, and we can make sure we patrol in the area. That's what the interpretation is.
Okay.
Now, if you want to include interpretation plus what is the actionable plan, that's a different cost. you trying to buy two snack with one
I just trying to
one
figure
order.
out. So the Defense Force could be out to sea, and the U.S. Coast Guard could assist us. And we also ask Turks and Caicos, Haiti, and Cuba, who are on our southern borders, to also assist us. That's what you translate.
It said partners, and the partner that it gave specifically was the U.S. partner.
Right.
It did not say in general partners.
Right.
It says the U.S. partner.
Right.
So that is what the H is. We're going to heighten the surveillance.
How are we going to convince the U.S. to do more?
Again, you asking for several parts of one thing. You say one part, I give you the one part.
Oh, boy. Let's go.
Because I know how this can be different from what's happening now. Because I can't answer that. So that ain't what you asked me, so that ain't what I can
Let's
answer.
go to the I in this plan. Investigate political abuse. The FNM will establish a select committee of Parliament to investigate political interference and corruption to ensure all citizenship and residency decisions follow the law. An inclusive, transparent immigration oversight board will also be established to restore accountability. Translation?
The translation is we can bring some people in because it can't be nobody from here.
No, but hold on. If this is a board, if this is one of the committees of Parliament, then it means among the elected members of Parliament.
Well, then, again, this is my interpretation. We can bring some people in because it can't be nobody from here. And we can make sure everything up and above board and it's fair and it is exactly what it's supposed to
How
be.
they can become a select committee if they ain't in Parliament? How are we going to bring people from somewhere, make them a select committee, which is...
Somebody ever asks you to cut their grass, but when you get to cut the grass, then they ask you to paint the house, but they want it on the same bill?
No, but
Because that's what you're doing.
But
You ask
you're
me to
translating
interpret
for
it.
me, and you're translating it for
And
me.
then you want the follow-up. I don't have no follow-up.
I just want to make sure I understand and interpret it. So we can bring some foreign people. We can bring some foreign
According
people.
to the criteria, yeah.
Uh-huh. And somehow these foreign people will turn into a select committee.
I guess so, something like that.
Like, the Public Accounts Committee is a select committee, right? How much success they having? You know who in charge of that?
We on E now.
E. Oh boy. Minutes say y'all keep coming here to do F.
Minutes is what? You ever see somebody stop you to say something and you that hot? He was probably that hot.
Oh,
and y'all asking him the same thing again with the same thing.
Minutes say y'all keep coming here to do F. We have everything we need.
Yeah.
So let's see what E, because this ain't no F. Let's see what E in this plan stands for. We can't find E either. There it is. And, Jesus Christ. Oh boy. And unfairness and enforce stronger penalties. The FNM will ensure that anyone who enters illegally is permanently barred from citizenship. No exemptions, no rewards for breaking the law. We will align our policies with international standards to protect national integrity and discourage illegal entry.
Well, I think that one is self-explanatory. E hitting it on the head. You ain't need to break down E no more than that.
No.
E is E.
E is E.
Yeah.
Oh,
You ain't
boy.
gotta say that's it. You
Okay.
can't come back here and do the same thing again.
Can I ask you about E2?
What does E do? That ain't on this.
What happened when the baby born? And the Constitution says that as long as you don't catch the baby, if he turn 18, he is entitled to be registered.
I
'Cause
ain't nothing but baby on this. This ain't saying
Well,
nothing
you
but
say,
baby.
well, okay. So how much people who land in here illegally we given citizenship to?
It say if you come illegal, you can't get
You
citizenship.
are barred permanently from citizenship. Well,
Right.
how much people that happening to now? How much people landing here illegally that getting citizenship?
I ain't sure, but it's E.
I imagine this isn't a very pervasive. I see this. It was the FNM that adjusted the penalty on bestiality, right? And my good friend and former colleague Rodney Munker always asked the question: did the goat complain? Because if the goat didn't complain, then who exactly reported this thing that made it a priority of the government. Are you telling me that there are so many illegal landings happening around here that we just letting fellas land on the beach and then apply for citizenship? Is that what's happening? Because the challenge we are having is our Constitution protects a pathway to citizenship for babies that we didn't catch. So we don't even need E because that ain't happening to nobody.
Well, again, you know, maybe it is, and me and you don't know about it, but E there. And plus, you always have to make sure that the words spell out.
Fantastic. But what we can do when we get to E2?
Ain't no E2 on this. It's not shielded.
Ah, boy, let's go to L. Oh, my goodness. Boy, you all must really want to not be the government. Limit approvals. The FNM will provide priority and efficient support for migrants who follow the rules. We will have thorough vetting of national status, and criminal histories of all applicants in conjunction with the U.S. Homeland Security and other regional partners. Political interference will not be tolerated.
Yeah.
Translation?
Translation is you got to do it the right way. You will be vetted properly. They will dive deep into your.
Put the L back up for me, because the heading and the literature don't even add up. Put the heading back up. You will limit in approvals.
Right.
Limit approvals. That's the heading, right?
Yeah.
They put it in red, so we know that that's the heading. Now listen to the literature. The FNM will provide priority, efficient support to migrants who follow the rule. What about that sounds like a limitation to you?
Because you're saying now that you're not going to allow anybody nilly-willy to come in, so that by
How much of that we
just
doing?
but just it got to be a lot because we have an immigration issue.
So we just giving out citizenship to Negroes with criminal records, is what you're saying to me? Is that your suggestion to me is that presently today, the Progressive Liberal Party today is giving citizenships today to people with criminal backgrounds? That's your suggestion to me?
This ain't saying nothing about citizenship, you know.
Put the thing back
This
up.
might be, work permit.
Oh, that's worse. You saying to me that the Progressive Liberal Party today is giving out work permits today to people who have criminal records in America today?
I ain't sure I don't like that.
I want this the plan. All us have to live under this plan, mind you.
Yeah.
All right. So I want us to walk through this plan carefully to see what this plan say. I know what Lincoln Bain say. Lincoln Bain say, don't add nothing else. Minna say, don't ask me for a F. Right?
He was on.
T-Sport she got almost every letter in the alphabet in this plan. And I ain't hear the plan yet.
I mean, you ain't had a plan here.
Let's go back to L. Because, I used to say I ain't never been to college, but I've been to college. And even now that I've been, I can't figure out what this means. Limit approvals. The heading and the literature don't add up. The FNM will provide priority. Priority means it ain't limited. And efficient support for migrants who follow the law. That means you plan to fast track the process. That can't be limiting. Then you go on to say we will have a thorough vetting of national status and criminal histories of all applicants in conjunction with the U.S. Homeland Security, which will do no good for you on the backdrop of Haitian citizens or anybody from the South.
So, but isn't this saying, or I guess what they
Use the
mean
translator
is,
mind.
Okay, let me tell you what it says.
Uh-huh.
What it says is, by default, some people will not be eligible because of all of the things that they are putting in place, thus limiting the approvals.
That default doesn't exist today is what you're saying.
I ain't sure. You ain't never had to rhyme one word and it didn't really go
boy.
right to the. I mean,
That was when I was thinking about being a rapper.
yeah, but then you can't just look at the heading and then say this ain't line up and all that. You gotta go so people can remember They could draw from the word and they know what shield is.
Wow.
So, okay, limiting the approvals, you being too technical. Allow the people to get the shield in the minds of the average citizen.
Let's go to D then. Let's go to D. Because you know that before E. Disclose data. The FNM will publish the long overdue report on citizenship, residency, and immigration applications. We will release all findings and recommendations publicly. We will demonstrate real transparency. Chef?
I think they can do this one. I think.
But put it back up.
I think they can get to do D.
I don't want the people to think I'm making
See,
this
the
up.
thing about it is when you do it like this, you could say use the S first,
Yeah.
H second,
Yeah.
and you
But
could
we
do
ain't
it in
make it to
order.
D.
And we ain't get the D because all this disclosure here,
Yeah.
we ain't got a disclosure, so I know
FNM
they can get to that one.
will publish, I need to read it. The FNM will publish the long overdue report.
How long it been?
What report?
I ain't sure.
On citizenship, residency, and immigration application. What report? What we talking about?
The report. You may not know about the report, but obviously there's a report to disclose.
Really?
Yes, that's
What
D.
exactly about an immigration application would we be disclosing? Their birth, their date of birth?
Maybe we'll be doing stats on the number of applicants from different areas, the persons who were turned away, the persons who were actually accepted, the persons to make sure that they are in the fields that the work permit and the ones that have limiting residency provide, stuff like that.
So people's personal information. I trying to understand.
We don't know exactly what it is, but it can get disclosed.
So if you are an immigrant and you're interested in working in the Bahamas, you can't lie and tell me you're only 21 because I will know your exact date of birth. You can't lie
Yeah,
and
but
tell
you
me.
ain't supposed to lying on a government document is an offense.
But that's exactly my point. What is there to disclose presently? And so it makes me believe that what Minnis and Lincoln say are true. There is really nothing left to do as far as immigration law is concerned. And that this was one big nothing burger.
Anyway, I like Shield.
Really?
I like Shield.
Wow.
And they have this layout nice.
Which one?
And they have a shield behind their logo.
Could you please give me your greatest takeaway?
On Shield? Well, first of all, somebody thinking about something
Yeah,
is something.
sure.
Whether or not it is or will be effective, whether or not it will be actually executed, there's something there for us to debate. Look at us right now debating Shield.
Sure.
That is what we need to do in this country
I love
now.
public discourse.
Of
It's
course.
my favorite thing, actually.
Of course.
Could you please point me to which of the elements of the Shield
I
policy
am not an
position-
immigration lawyer. I am not an immigration expert.
No, but as a citizen, you have what we call collective interest, right?
Right.
Sociology would call it a common communal. What do they call the thing? A common communal influencer, right? That is. So, could you please tell me, as a concerned citizen who is read, right, which of the components of the Shield plan gives you the greatest level of takeaway and interest?
The collective shield. I like the shield.
Wow.
The Bible say put on the whole armor. And the shield is part of the armor.
Oh my goodness.
You look like you don't appreciate what these. Come on, man.
I trying so hard.
You can't do nothing without a shield.
Oh boy. Anyway, put on the whole armor, chef say. That's the way you'll be shield. Oh boy. This is Freedom March. I'm Levan Miller. Don't move. There's more show on the next side of the break. So I tell you often that if you use your smart devices for more than porn and gossip, what you will find is that there's information on it that is quite useful. And one of the tools I like to use, I'm becoming like addicted to it a little bit, is ChatGPT. So much so that I ChatGPT people's names because, boy, if ChatGPT can't find you, you're probably nobody, right? And so I asked ChatGPT, how much of the